Hello students. Today we are going to see new lesson from your book Beehive. Do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. When you were young that time, they might have scolded you for many things. Sometimes they might have beat you. But when you realize your mistakes now you might understand the reason behind it. So, this story about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home and in every heart for the parents. So, let us know more about the author. Mansfield Catherine was born on 14th October 1988. She was a prominent story writer. She was born and brought up in colonial New Zealand. At the age of 19, Mansfield left New Zealand and settled in UK, where she became friend of modern writers. She died on 9th January 1923. She was a prolific writer in the final years of her life. Much of her work remained unpublished till her death. So, let us enjoy the beautiful story written by this prominent story writer. In this story, Kezia is the little girl and she is the main character of the story. This short story is based on the young life of Catherine Mansfield. Kezia is a little girl. Her father is a very successful businessman. But for the little girl, he is a figure to be feared and avoided. Let us know about theme of this story. Children have natural attachment with their parents. They always desire to receive their love and affection. The rude behavior of parents only develops a deep sense of separation among the children. However, your parents are rude. They will have only one desire. They want to make you successful. They work hard to make their children happy. So let us know what happens in the story with the little girl Kezia. Kezia is the main character. Kezia's father is a strict and hard-working, also a careful father. Kezia's grandmother, she is loving, caring and amiable old lady with Kezia. I have given you here main points of the lesson, but we will go paragraph wise. When I am explaining you the lesson, that time I hope you have your textbook in your hand. Let us go for the textbook first. Go for page number 32. I will read out the text. I will read out page number 32 first. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard noise of carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper came yet? Mother, go and see if my papers are there and bring me my slippers." See here, students, in this first paragraph, we understand the scenario of the home, the picture of the home. The little girl becomes happy when father goes out for work. Now here in first line you will see he. So who is he in this line? He is father. And the figure of the father is fearful for the child. Always she wants to avoid him. Every morning before going to work he comes. He comes and kiss her, but she just say goodbye father. But when he goes out, she gets a relief that oh, once father went out. Now she is free. She gets freedom. From what? From what? Okay, she gets freedom from the terror of the father. What type of terror and all we will see in next paragraph. Now, when father comes home, that time the dialogues given by father that tells us he's very strict father. He wants all the things at proper place and he wants all the things on proper time. He says, bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring my slippers. So it shows that he is very strict father and he wants all the things at place and at time. Kezia, mother would call to her. If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots. Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall, to push open the drawing room. By that time he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Well, Kezia, hurry up, pull off these boots and take them outside. How you been a good girl today? I don't know, father. You don't know? If you shudder like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. Now see here, this is second paragraph and this is the picture when father comes home. Actually, Kezia doesn't want to be with father. When mother calls her to help father to take off his boots, very slowly she comes. Her action tells us that she hesitates to come. And now she does this, but she feels afraid of him. So she shudders. When father asks something, that is very casual question. I hope you have been a good girl today. But she feels afraid of and she shudders when she says something to father, when she answers. And what does she say? I don't know. That means she shudders. But father gets irritated of this shuddering by Kezia. And he says that if you continue with this shuddering, I'll ask your mother to take you to the doctor. Let us go for third paragraph. She never shuddered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. So what? Let us go for the explanation of third paragraph. See, here is father who scolds Kezia for not to shutter. And actually, what is the thing? Kezia doesn't shutter with other people. She has tried a lot and she has stopped that. But whenever she talks with father, that time only she shutters. Why this is so? Because she feels afraid of father. She gets terrified and she can't speak smoothly and she shudders. That's the reason. And father actually doesn't understand this. He again starts to scold her. He says, "What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about?" So, wretched means here worried. When father scolds her that time, naturally she looks worried, and again father is asking, "Why are you so worried?" And he warns his mother, means grandfather of Kezia, that this shuttering should be stopped. Otherwise, this child will bring of suicide. Means this, if she continues with shuttering, this child will be in the position of suicide. Brink means suicide. And he continues with his talk. Kezia, carry my teacup back to the carefully, this and that. Now, see, next part of third paragraph is very important. It tells us how and what is the image, physical image of father in the mind of Kezia. Kezia thinks about her father. She thinks that father is so big. She watches him and she thinks that his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawns, and she goes on thinking and thinking about him, and she thinks that father looks like a giant. Okay, this is the picture of father in the mind of child. Now let us go for fourth paragraph. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. So this paragraph tells us that mother and father, they are very busy in Sundays too. Actually, they don't have time for the child. Continue with the fourth paragraph on page 34. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke up and stretched, and asked the time, then looked at her. "Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl." One day, when he was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pincushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. So, go for fourth paragraph. On Sunday afternoon, grandmother sends Kezia to her parents to go and just have a free talk with them, so that she should feel comfortable with the parents. So that is the intention of grandmother. This grandmother and grandfather at home, always they are very helpful for children, right? So in the same way, grandmother is very amiable, very friendly with Kezia, and on Sunday afternoons she sends Kezia to their room. But what happens when she goes? Literally, she talks freely with the parents? No. When she reaches to the room, she finds that mother is reading and father stretched out on sofa. She is lolling. Father is lying on the sofa, and his handkerchief is on his face. His feet on one of the best cushion and sleeping soundly, and he is snoring. Snoring means making noise. Snoring when we sleep, that a particular type sleeping noisily, we call it kharate bharna in Hindi. So this is the picture of the room. Now to whom Kezia will talk? Nobody. So what does she do then? She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until woke up and stretched. So she's just sitting silently and she's just watching father till then he gets up. And father gets up and he's asking, what is time, because he's very busy person, we know. Then he looks at Kezia. When he looks at Kezia, what is his statement towards her? He says, don't stare so, Kezia, you look like a brown owl when you look at me like this. We know Kezia is watching father, she is staring at father, and father thinks that she looks like a brown owl. Okay, so in this way, father is a terrifying figure in the mind of the little girl. Now see, what happens one day, grandmother tells Kezia that it's father's birthday. Okay, next week there is father's birthday. So what you have to prepare some gift for him. Also grandmother suggests her that you can prepare a pin cushion as a gift to your father. And also she says that she has a yellow silk and a piece of yellow silk, and she can prepare a pin cushion out of that for father. Now Kezia is very happy because it's her father's birthday in next week and she's going to prepare something for father. She wants to please him. She thinks that after seeing that gift he will be very happy, this and that. Now what does she do? Let us go for fifth paragraph. I'm reading. Laboriously with a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides. But what to fill it with? That was a question. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them up into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case them, sewed up and forth side. The night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched. Servants questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you did not see some papers on the table in our room. Oh, yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room in this instant. So this is the paragraph about the crisis in the family. One crisis has happened. So we know grandmother has told Kezia to prepare a pin cushion. What is pin cushion? It is a small cushion. It is a handy cushion, and we use that cushion to pin, to keep our pins safe. Okay, we just toe the pins in that cushion. So she is now ready. Laboriously she has prepared the cushion. But one mistake, a grave mistake she has done. And what is that? See, to make a cushion, she has stitched 4 sides of the cushion. Now she needs some stuff to fill in the cushion, and then only she can stitch the 4th side of the cushion. So she is looking for that stuff, means unwanted, means small pieces of cloth, scrap or paper she wants to stuff in that. Now she looks here and there, but she doesn't get anything. Now she goes to parents' room and she thinks that there are some papers lying on the table, bed table. So what does she do? There are many sheets of papers. So she gets it. She tears the papers in tiny pieces and stuffed her case. She sewed up the fourth side and now her beautiful pincushion with yellow silk cloth is ready for father on his birthday. She's very happy. But when father returned home from office, there was hue and cry, all noise in the house. Why? Father's great speech for Port Authority had been lost. Father has prepared a nice speech for Port Authority, means authority in the office, and that is lost. He is not getting his speech. Now he searched here and there, every corner of the room. He asked servants, "Have you seen my papers? Have you misplaced it? This and that." But nobody says yes. Finally, mother goes to Kezia and she asks, "Kezia, I suppose you did not see some papers on the table." And Kezia is very innocent girl. Actually, she doesn't know that the paper she has taken from table as a stuff. They were very important papers for father, and naturally and very simply she says that, "Oh yes," she said, "I tore them up for my surprise." Now, mother screamed, "What, you did that?" Come straight down to the dining room. At this moment, you have to come down. Now, what will be the picture of the family? How terrifying father will be for Kezia. Let us see in 6th paragraph. I am reading 6th paragraph. "And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back." "Well," he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at child. "Do you do that?" "No, no, no, no," she whispered. "Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that child's put to bed this instant. See here." Now, father is very harsh today, more harsh today. So, mother has dragged her down. She has told father that what mistake Kezia has done. Father asked her, "Well, you did that?" And as usual, Kezia is shuddering. She is terrified. She says no. She is whispering, and out of fear, she has said no. Father orders his mother and says, "Go up to her room and bring all those things she has made. And you have to keep the child to bed this instant." Means just ask her to sit in her bedroom. Let us see what does Father Kezia do with Kezia do in her bedroom. What action father takes for this mistake? How he punishes Kezia? Does he literally punish or he forgive her? Let us see in 7th paragraph. I'm reading 7th paragraph. Caring too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hand. "I'm going to beat you for this," he said. "Oh, no, no," she screamed, hiding her under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. "Sit up," he ordered, "and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you." "But it was for your birthday." Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. So what? Father has taken her to the bedroom and he says, you should be punished. He has taken a ruler in his hand and he raised the ruler to beat her on her very small and pink and very tender palms. As he raised the ruler, she shudders again and says, but it was for your birthday. Means she tries to explain that I was making a gift on your birthday. So the ruler comes down. Father beats her literally? No, but he was in the position to beat her badly. Now, what did he say? He says that you should be punished for your mistake because you should understand, you should get one lesson. What is that lesson he wants to teach the child by punishing him? Punishing the child like that? He wants to teach her that whatever does not belong to you, you should not touch it. And when once punished, next time you will not repeat the mistake. But when she tells, shuddering that, but it was for your birthday, ruler comes down and little girl is saved from the punishment. Go for 8th paragraph. I'm reading. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. What did God make father for? She sobbed. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. Now see, in this 8th paragraph, we will know the mental condition of Kezia when she was kept alone in the bedroom for a long time. Also, she is terrified by the action of the father. When she sees her grandmother, she clung to the grandmother, she hugged grandmother and she is feeling soft body of grandmother. Soothing, it's a soothing experience after a harsh moment. And what question does she ask to grandmother? What did God make fathers for? She's very upset. And out of that upset mindset, she's asking that question to grandmother, that what did God make fathers for? Now grandmother understands all the situation. She tells, I tried to explain the things to your father, but he was not in mood to listen anything. Let us here is a clean hanky. Baby, blow your nose and go to sleep. And once you will get up, you will forget all about the things happened. So she is trying to soothe her. She is trying to sympathize her. She is trying to take her out from that incident, from that experience, bad and harsh experience. But the child will never forget. Next time when she saw father, what action did she do? Quickly she has put both the hands behind her back and her cheeks went red. That is, she is terrified again when she sees the father. So image of father in Kezia's mind is very much terrified. And after this incident, he has become the most terrified person in the world. Now see, next paragraph, 9th paragraph. Let me read. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap into the fence, little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby, Mao, on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging on to his coat pockets, ran around and round and the flower bed shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boy turn the host on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Then it was she decided there was different sorts of father. Suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. So one incident has taken. She is standing in her yard in the garden, and from the fence she has seen a picture. Their neighbor is Mr. MacDonald, and she sees a picture in their garden that Father MacDonald is playing with his children. They are very happy. Okay, from the gap of the fence, she is watching this picture, and the little girl saw that they are playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on her shoulders and two little girls hanging on the coat pocket ran around and round the flower beds, shaking the laughter. They are laughing and enjoying, they are playing, they are snatching. The baby girl is sitting on his shoulder, two other girls are pulling the father and they are laughing loudly. This is very pleasant picture for the eyes of little Kezia. And what does she say to herself? Then it was she decided. She has decided what? There was different sorts of father. She thinks that there are different types of father. My father is not that type. Okay, so she is not happy with her father. She might have wished that God might have given me father like McDonald, right? Now suddenly one day what happens? Mother falls ill and she has been taken to the hospital. Grandmother has accompanied her. Who is left alone in the home? Kezia. And there is one cook. Now for daytime, cook was always with her. She was taking care of her. But what about night time? Nobody was. Okay, so she felt afraid. Alice, the cook, told her that you take care and do not disturb your father. So she knew that only father is with me for night, and already she feels afraid of father. So let us go for 10th paragraph. I'm reading. What will I do if I have nightmares? She asked. I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, putting off her socks. And don't you scream and wake your pa, poor pa. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma. She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. And what's the matter? He said. So what? She is raising many questions when Alice supposed to go. Alice is ready to go and she says that what will happen if I say I get the same nightmare? Nightmare means dread dream, fearful dream. Okay. And what does she say? Alice answers her, you just go to sleep, child. And she warns her, don't disturb your poor father. Don't scream. Don't wake your father. Let him sleep. Okay, but what happened that night? Same nightmare, dreadful dream she saw. What is there in that dream? A butcher with a knife and rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling, and he has very dreadful smile, which she could not move, could only stand still, crying out. And she stands and she says, Grandma, Grandma, very loudly she says. That time who is in front of her? That is her father, and he is asking, what's the matter? He's saying. Actually, when she gets up out of her dreadful dream, father is in front of her and he is asking, what's the matter? Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want, Granny, she says. 11th paragraph I am reading. He blew out of the candle, bent down, and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with Butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs. Get them warm, said father. It's very pleasant experience for Kezia. Okay, let us explain paragraph 11. He is a father who is in front of her when she cries, Grandma, Grandma. Now she says, Oh, butcher, a knife, I want Granny. Father has blown out the candle, bent down and caught the child in his arm very carefully, and he is carrying her along with the passage to the bedroom. Now a newspaper was on the bed. He put away all the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her. He half asleep still. Actually, father is also half, half asleep. Still, with a butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him. Now she is afraid of the butcher in her dream. So what did she did? She has crept slowly, moved near to the father, and now she is feeling so smooth, so comfortable in the lap of father when she is sleeping. Okay, she has crept close to him, snuggled her hand under his arm, held tightly to his shirt, and she has hold his shirt tightly. Why this? Because she's feeling afraid of the butcher in her dream. Now dark doesn't matter to her because father is with her, and she lays still. What does father say? Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. They are very soothing words by father for Kezia, who feels afraid of father. Go for 12th paragraph. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big, after all, and with no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother. But it was a nice hardness, and every day he had to work and was too tired to be Mr. MacDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What's a big heart you have got, dear father? Now see. Last paragraph. This is an introspection by Kezia. What does she think now about father? Totally changed mindset of Kezia. Now she doesn't feel afraid of father. She loves father. She understands father. She understands how tired he is, and every day father is tired and he sleeps before Kezia. But many funny feelings came in her mind. What does she think? She thinks that literally father is a poor man. He's not so big. She used to think about father that he's a giant. है ना? But now she's thinking that he's not so big after all. And he is harder than grandmother, but it was nice hardness. Hardness was not harsh. And every day he had to work. He was too tired to be a father like Graham MacDonald. And she feels repent that literally he might have worked hard for the papers that she has torn up. His beautiful writing I have turned up, and I have made my cushion. She introspects, thinks for herself, thinks about her own mistake, and she stirred suddenly and sighed. When she sighs, father again wakes up and asks, "What's the matter?" Asks the father. "Another dream? Have you got any another dream?" "Don't feel afraid," he wants to say. But what does Kezia say? "Oh," said the little girl, "my head's on your heart. My head is on your heart, and I can hear your heart is going." "That's a big heart you have got, my dear father," she says. In this way, the end of the story is very pleasant. The little girl Kezia has changed her mindset for her father. The father, the person who was like a giant for Kezia, now has changed in a loving father who has got a big heart. Thank you.